People do not lack strength. They lack will. Welcome to McBain Moments. Alright guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the manor. Make sure you take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. People don't lack strength. Maybe it would be better put as people don't lack ability. See, there's a misconception that's very common, especially if you're just starting out or you are, you've hit some rough spots in your life, you haven't figured out, maybe you have to realign, you're in that limbo period, right? Life didn't go quite the way you planned, you end up having to decide on a new course. Or maybe you need to take the same course, but you need to figure a way around an obstacle. And it could be as simple as waiting out the wave, or waiting out the storm, right? Or it could be more complicated and you have to correct course and go around it. But a lot of people take this as that they don't have the ability. They don't have the skill. They don't have the strength. And this isn't true. You may lack an individual skill that you need to develop. And that may in fact be true. But that doesn't mean you don't have the ability to go out and learn the skill to give you the tools you need in order to do what you want to accomplish. It comes down to one thing. Will. Do you have the will? Do you have the grit to continue? Do you have the grit to continue on course? Or to alter your course in a way that you can make it to the same destination? It's like boating or being on a ship. You're the captain of your soul. Okay? Where you end up is 100% on you. You are the captain of your soul. That's a quote from Napoleon Hill. If you are a ship on the vast ocean that's life, and your accomplishments are the different ports that you stop at, how you get to the port is less important than you getting to the port. The only thing you don't want to do on the way there is run into another ship, as in a collision, or commit piracy. Steal someone else's idea, do something that negatively impacts those around you, anything of that nature, right? You want to make it to your destination without creating a negative impact for anybody else, if at all possible. That's the balancing act, right? That's the goal. Because you can do a scorched earth methodology. I used to do that. I thought that was the right way to do things because to a certain extent, that's how they teach you to do things in New England business. Especially 10 years ago. It was extremely cutthroat. After the crash, but just before the crash and through the crash, it was extremely cutthroat in New England. And I steamrolled bosses in order to get promoted. I'm not proud of it. But it's a thing that happened. And I realized that that was not the way you conduct business. That's not the way, no, that's not true. That's not the way you conduct business in a way where people are going to like you. Right? I was of the mind, I'm not here to be liked, I'm here to make money. And there's a certain wisdom to that, but it's short-sighted. It's extremely short-sighted. Because, as they say, it's easier to attract flies with honey than vinegar. In the long term, being a cutthroat is only going to get your own throat cut. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So instead, you have to navigate your ship around to where your destination is without hurting anybody else. But to do that, you gotta have the grit. You have to have the willpower to power through all obstacles. And you have to have the courage to stand by your convictions. And that doesn't mean, admitting you're wrong when you're proven wrong. In fact, quite the opposite. When someone can provide you evidence that you're incorrect, then it's time to say, you know what, I was wrong. Maybe I can need to do things this way. But there are a couple things I'd like to encourage you to do. 1, never let anyone Never let anyone tell you you're not good enough. Never, ever let anyone tell you you're not good enough. Because you are. The most important person you must not allow you to tell you you're not good enough is yourself. Notebook fell. In all of your life, the most likely person telling you you're not good enough is yourself. If you hear yourself telling yourself that, that's a sentence for you. If you hear your mind telling yourself that, it's time to slap yourself and say, hey, that's not allowed. The second thing is never let anyone hold you accountable for someone else's actions. Now, that being said, if you have a subordinate and they do something, then you may be responsible for them. That's a whole nother issue. But if you're in an organization and someone does something stupid and they're not affiliated with your particular line of business or what have you, don't let their actions be put on you. Push back against anyone who does that. Push back and don't let people do that to you. Because all they're doing is finding a reason to take away your victories. The work that you put in. As they say, the sins of the father shall not be laid upon the feet of the son. It's an old saying. Take it for what you will. You have to have the will. And you do have the will. Just got to dig deep and find it. This has been a McBain moment.